man who confessed to killing his girlfriend before posting images of her body on Facebook has been found dead. Spusiso Lawrence Ntaka found hanging from a tree near the murder scene in Malangeni. Ntaka posted a chilling confession and pictures of the woman yesterday. He also made a number of allegations against her, which have not been independently verified. But let's talk about this story in the context of South Africa's pandemic, really, around gender-based violence and femicide, following the incidents we reported on this morning. And I would love to welcome Themba Masango from Not In My Name and Bulelwa Adonis from Women for Change. To both of you, thank you so much for your time. Again, I know that you're used to being invited on panels and discussions where the subject matter is one of tragedy and is one of sadness. This alleged killer, a KwaZulu-Natal man, now dead by suicide apparently, claimed to have killed his girlfriend and then shared his version about why he did it on social media. The woman's last moments are undignified, they are brutal, they are blasted everywhere without consideration for her, her family and society. I want us to start by talking about this type of incident, the way that it is portrayed and the way the alleged perpetrator described what he did, and the last moments of the victim just paraded for all to see. Bulelwa, I'd like to start with you.
Thank you so much for having me. I think what we witnessed, all of us on social media, what we're still seeing since it's still up, is a true testament on how we disregard the life and the livelihood of women in this country. And I think the mere fact that he needed to go out of his way to explain his side of the story just exposes that we're a country that's made perpetrators comfortable enough for us to know that, you know, they will be supported, that they will be defended, like it's been shown so openly on social media that people are on his side. But I think it just exposes how we have a deep-rooted problem in this country, that there is something deeply wrong, you know, with us, and that we really need to dive deeper into this pandemic called gender-based violence and femicide, you know, to unpack all of the core roots of, you know, this pandemic itself.
Themba, your thoughts?
Yeah, look, Iman, this is really saddening, and it's, you know, his actions must be stated that it's evil, it's cowardly, and it's warranting unequivocal condemnation. What's even more disturbing, Iman, is a commentary by a lot of individuals on the comments on social media, where they are just showing, you know, a real toxic mindset, you know, justifying the violence of murder, suggesting that the alleged victim, you know, deserved this because of her alleged infidelity or her behavior. There's some issues with regards to ref and monies that were, you know, supposed to be paid out and so on. And it is really, really, really sickening just to see how, you know, people are just continuing this misogynistic mindset as a manifestation, you know, that is clearly saying that South Africa really has a big societal issue. And, you know, where it's almost women are having to be held accountable for men's emotional responses and choices. And, you know, Iman, it only diminishes the value of human life, and it shifts the accountability from the perpetrator. And, you know, this rhetoric of saying that, you know, she basically deserved to be murdered is an unacceptable justification of violence and murder, because we know that South Africa's gender-based violence is really one of the highest in the world. Our femicide is 5.1 times higher than anywhere in the world at the moment. And if we are going to be going with the comments that we are seeing with what has happened, what Spusiso allegedly did to his girlfriend, we've got a real long way to go. And
yeah, I want to come back, if I can, Themba, to the accountability piece. And you raised, you know, an issue there which talks about the pathologies that men have in South Africa. And I really want to pick this up with you, Bulelwa. One of the things that he said before taking his life was, I worked so hard to satisfy a woman in my life. I gave it my all. His confession includes a window into his state of mind. It seems to be one of entitlement, betrayal, and ego. What observations have you made in your work about the general state of mind of men when it comes to their partners and how much ownership or control they feel entitled to over those women, Bulelwa?
I think with the work that we've done, with the cases that we've dealt with, we have seen that that there is, like you said so beautifully, that there's an entitlement to women's bodies that I think I'm just going to piggyback on what Temba said on how there is almost like a devalue of just the human life. And I feel like women in particular, we are treated as less than human beings when it comes to our livelihoods, our bodies, you know, how we should dress, what we should wear, where we should go, what we should do, how we should conduct ourselves. It's no longer in our court anymore. You know, other men in particular feel comfortable enough to have a say, to have a ruling over how we should govern ourselves, over the ownership of our bodies, you know, over who we are, over our livelihood. So I think it's just the entitlement in general that we see largely from males in particular, that there's just this entitlement onto a woman, onto their bodies, onto how they should live their lives. On like Temba said, that, you know, the comment section on how, I mean, for instance, I have two comments in front of me. One says everyone is going to judge an innocent man before killing a snake, or there's another one that says we're animals because of you ladies. And this just exposes the entitlement. This exposes the ideology, the mentality that they know best, that, you know, they have a hierarchy say over what women should do over their own bodies, over their own lives.
I want to follow that up with you very quickly before I bring Temba in on why that is. I know we keep asking this question in South Africa, and we've just commemorated 16 days, you know, of no violence against women and children. And it seems like we have these incidents every time this event and this time passes. But what is responsible for that mindset?
I mean, there could be so many reasons at this point. At this point, we're showing that we're more comfortable with perpetrators than with our victims and survivors. I mean, here we're showing a crystal clear case of open and proud and blatant victim blaming, that we are more considerate of the perpetrator and their quote unquote feelings. And we are, I think another thing is we're masking a mentality of being an enabler with being understanding, because that's the general mentality over the general response that we're seeing in the comment section, that there's an understanding to his actions because of what he did, when in reality we're just masking, we're just covering up being enablers, being bystanders, being encouragers of perpetrators and such behavior. So I think things like victim blaming, things like just a lack of accountability. We're so comfortable with the norm, we're comfortable with evil and heinous crimes like what we're discussing today.
Temba, according to the South African Medical Research Council, 7 women are killed in the country every day. Nearly 6 in 10 of such murders here in our country are at the hands of a husband, a boyfriend, or a lover. And another study says that mortality from IPV, which is intimate partner violence, was elevated among those between the ages of 14 to 44, and specifically women of color. But blunt force injuries were more common. Strangulation, asphyxiation, also there, but less common. Why do men resort to violence? Hate women then, feel entitled to their bodies. Let all of this reside in the theater of your mind. Why lay a hand on a woman?
And you know, you guys touched on it, and it's a deeper societal issue from day one, and where we shift accountability of men and put it on women's actions and so on, and therefore say, because you did this, you therefore deserve to be violently killed or maimed and raped and so on. And it's a societal thing. I mean, it stems from the little things where, you know, at home, you know, supper is cooked. After supper, we tell the little girls, go wash the dishes, and the boys can do whatever they want outside. It stems from the point of view of saying to boys that, look, once you've paid lobola, you own this person. It stems from the religious point of view of saying that, you know, you are the head, no matter what happens. You know, religion tells you that as a man, by virtue of having a penis, you are therefore, you know, higher than the next person. And all these interpretations boil down to a point where you are inherently saying to guys that you can do whatever and there is no consequence to it. What is also really problematic, Iman, is that when it comes to our justice system, I was at court right now where a guy in Mamelodi shot his girlfriend 7 times. Fortunately, she survived. He's applying for bail. He's probably going to get bail right now. And our justice system is of, and I agree, look, somebody is innocent until proven guilty, all of those things. But where you get slam dunk cases such as these, you should actually come out strongly and venomously to show that we are a country that is ruled by law, and there will not be any excuses from getting away from consequences. But when you have such situations, it is very difficult, where women are also finding it very difficult to get access to justice, and there's no more faith in our legal systems. And this all comes up to a point where we feel that we can do whatever, and it is very problematic.
And I've got to wrap it there, but I just want to make a throwaway comment, because we've got plans, and there are many. We're very good at making plans. The National Strategic Plan on GBF, legal reform, support for survivors, the psychological and social services. We've got the Tutusela and the Kuseleka centers and so on, but the numbers keep rising. I want to pick up this discussion, and we will at a later date, and bring the pair of you back. Thank you so much for sharing your insights today. And really, men, stop killing women. Just keep your hands to yourselves. It's just unbelievable. And as you were sharing as well, so much support from different people for the actions of men, and shifting any kind of blame and perpetrator sympathy. It's ridiculous, and it has to stop. Thank you both. And that was Not In My Name's Temba Masango and Bulelwa Adonis's from Women for Change.